Arthritis alert, the worst foods that destroy your joints. If you're feeling joint pain, stiffness when you wake up, or notice some movements getting harder, this video could totally change how you see your diet. And no, we're not talking about exotic or rare foods. On the contrary, many of the biggest villains that mess up your joints are on your plate every day, and you probably have no idea. What you eat might be silently inflaming your body, wrecking your mobility, and speeding up the wear on your cartilage. And the craziest part? Many of these food choices are seen as normal, harmless, even healthy by some folks. But in this video, we go beyond appearances. We'll show you how small, seemingly innocent decisions can cause devastating consequences for anyone dealing with arthritis, osteoarthritis, or any joint problem. And at the end, you'll find out which food is number one at destroying your joints. The worst of the worst. The one that fuels chronic inflammation and adds to constant joint pain. You'll be shocked. You'll question yourself. And most importantly, you'll walk away with info that could change your quality of life if you're ready to make a change. So get ready to face the truth behind the foods you eat. Your joints deserve that attention. Number 11. Alcohol. Drinking alcohol is one of the most overlooked factors when it comes to joint pain and chronic inflammation. It seems harmless in small amounts, but alcohol directly messes with your body's metabolism, damaging your liver. This organ is key to clearing out toxins that, if they pile up, create an inflammatory environment. That inflammation hits many tissues, including your joints. Over time, regular drinking worsens arthritis and causes joint stiffness. Another risky thing about alcohol is how it can increase gut permeability. This lets toxins and unwanted particles leak into the bloodstream, cranking up systemic inflammation. Plus, alcohol throws your immune system out of balance, making your body overreact against its own tissues. This sets the stage for autoimmune diseases like rheumatoid arthritis. Even people without a history can feel joint discomfort from constant drinking. Alcohol also messes with absorbing nutrients vital for joint health. B vitamins, magnesium, and calcium are all essential for strong bones and healthy cartilage. When these get poorly absorbed or flushed out too fast, your joints start feeling it. Muscle fatigue goes up, joint lubrication drops, and injury risk grows. Even social drinkers should watch for body signals. Dehydration caused by alcohol is another problem. Joints need synovial fluid to work well, and lack of water makes producing that fluid harder. Also, hangovers often come with body aches, including joint stiffness. That's no coincidence. It's your inflamed body trying to bounce back. And if this keeps happening, the damage could become permanent. If you already have joint pain, alcohol might be quietly making it worse. Cutting down or quitting is smart for long-term joint health. And heads up, at the end of this video, we'll reveal the absolute worst food for your joints, the one that attacks your joints without you even noticing. Number 10. Too much salt. Salt is one of the oldest and most used seasonings worldwide, but too much turns it into a quiet enemy of your joints. Salt causes fluid retention, which ramps up swelling and pressure in joint tissues. That swelling can worsen chronic pain and make moving harder. For people with arthritis or osteoarthritis, excess sodium intensifies symptoms and makes treatments less effective. Small daily tweaks can make a huge difference. Another bad effect of salt is how it messes up your body's electrolyte balance. By overloading your kidneys and changing mineral levels in your blood, too much sodium interferes with joint lubrication. The result? A stiff feeling, especially when you wake up or after long rest. Plus, salt messes with calcium absorption, a mineral vital for bone and joint health. That can lead to bone density loss, worsening pain, and fragile joints. Salt is also linked to heart diseases. High blood pressure messes with circulation and cuts oxygen supply to tissues, including joints. Poor circulation makes it harder for nutrients to reach joints and for inflammatory waste to clear out, worsening pain and stiffness. This shows how too much salt harms your whole body, not just your joints. So keep your salt intake in check. Swapping salt for natural herbs, spices, and fresh seasonings is an easy way to cut salt without losing flavor. Rosemary, turmeric, garlic, and ginger are healthy options that even bring anti-inflammatory benefits. Another tip is avoiding ultra-processed foods and choosing homemade meals. That way you control how much sodium you eat. Small changes can seriously ease joint pain. Taking care of your salt intake is key if you want to protect your joints and cut inflammation risks. Often, the secret is simple details, like choosing natural seasonings or skipping ready-made foods. But watch out, there's a food way worse than salt, and it'll be revealed in the last part of this video. Number 9. Nightshade vegetables. Tomatoes, bell peppers, eggplants, and potatoes are everyday foods on many tables. But for those with joint pain, these nightshade veggies can be a problem. They contain a substance called solanine, which in some sensitive people can trigger or worsen joint inflammation. Solanine messes with your nervous system and can make you feel more pain. For arthritis sufferers, this effect can be pretty uncomfortable. It's important to note not everyone reacts to nightshades. For some, these veggies are totally safe and even beneficial thanks to their antioxidants and fiber. But if you have chronic joint pain, it might be worth testing by cutting them out for a few weeks. If you feel better, that's a sign your body doesn't respond well to these substances. Adjusting your diet like this can be eye-opening and very helpful. Culturally, these foods are seen as nutritious and essential. That makes many people keep eating them without thinking they could be part of the problem. Tomato sauce on pizza, raw pepper in salads, or roasted eggplant dishes are just a few examples. The key isn't to demonize these foods, but to see if they work for your body or not. Everyone's biology is different and deserves respect. If you find you're sensitive, there are lots of alternatives. Veggies like zucchini, carrot, pumpkin, and cauliflower can replace nightshades without losing taste or nutrition. A diet rich in anti-inflammatory veggies helps ease arthritis symptoms and promotes joint health. Changing your eating habits is a powerful step to care for your joints. And don't worry, with some creativity, you can make tasty, functional meals. And heads up, if you've cut out nightshades, lowered salt, and stopped drinking, but still have joint pain, it's because you don't know the worst food for your joints yet. In the last chapter of this video, I'll reveal it. And believe me, you might be eating this enemy every day. Number 8. Too much red meat. Red meat, though rich in protein and iron, can be harmful if eaten too much, especially for joint pain sufferers. One big reason is arachidonic acid, a type of fat that boosts production of inflammatory substances in your body. These substances worsen arthritis and speed up cartilage wear. Plus, diets heavy in red meat tend to lack fiber and antioxidants, which are key to fighting inflammation. Another worry is that eating lots of red meat is linked to higher levels of homocysteine, an amino acid that when too high can cause inflammation and harm joint health. Homocysteine is also tied to heart problems, making the overall impact worse. Keeping this substance high is like pouring gasoline on already painful joints. So moderation is key. This isn't about cutting out red meat completely, but balancing it in your diet. Eating 2 to 3 servings a week can give you its benefits without overloading your joints. Choosing lean cuts and healthier cooking methods like grilling or roasting makes a big difference. Also, pairing meat with veggies and whole grains is important. The kind of meat matters too. Processed meats or fatty cuts are worse, boosting inflammation even more. On the other hand, grass-fed, naturally raised meat has healthier fat profiles. This difference can affect your body's inflammatory response. It's always better to pick quality over quantity. Another thing to watch is red meat's impact on gut bacteria. Diets high in this protein mess with your gut microbiome, which directly affects inflammation regulation. An inflamed gut means inflamed joints. This link is increasingly proven by science. So cutting back helps not just your joints, but your digestion too. Heads up, even if you cut down on red meat, there's still a food that's way more dangerous for your joints. At the end of this video, we'll reveal the worst of all, something you probably never guessed was so destructive to your joints. Number 7. Ultra-processed foods. Ultra-processed foods are definitely big enemies of joint health. Packed with preservatives, dyes, chemical additives, and tons of sodium, they create a fiery environment inside your body. Soda, instant noodles, nuggets, frozen lasagna, and packaged snacks are some common examples. These foods mess with your body's inflammatory response, worsening arthritis, osteoarthritis, and gout. And the worst part is they do it quietly. The extra sodium in these products causes fluid retention and joint swelling, upping pressure on cartilage. The chemical additives interfere with your body's natural detox process, overloading liver and kidneys. This toxin buildup worsens pain and limits movement. Plus, many of these foods are loaded with refined oils, which, as we saw, promote inflammation. The combo of all these factors is explosive for your joints. Another problem with ultra-processed foods is they're nutritionally poor. They barely provide vitamins, minerals, or antioxidants, which are essential for strong joints. Instead, they deliver empty calories that only cause weight gain and more inflammation. And more weight means more stress on joints, especially knees and hips. This painful cycle feeds itself day after day. How often people eat these foods is worrying too. They're a daily habit for many because they're easy and tasty, but the price your body pays is high. Chronic pain, swelling, morning stiffness, and fatigue all get worse with an ultra-processed diet. Even small daily portions over time can seriously harm joint health. Avoiding these products is one of the best choices you can make to protect your joints. Swapping them for homemade meals with natural ingredients brings visible results. Choose fresh, whole, minimally processed foods. Your body will thank you. And remember, health starts on your plate, and every meal is a chance to heal or harm. But even ultra-processed foods aren't the worst for your joints. There's still a real villain to reveal at the end, the one that inflames, wears down, and speeds up joint degeneration the most. Number 6. Too many dairy products. Dairy is a controversial topic when it comes to joint health. Some studies show benefits for bone health, but other evidence suggests cow's milk can be inflammatory for many people. This happens because milk proteins, especially casein, are hard for most people to digest. When poorly digested, they can trigger inflammation that hits joints. Also, milk and fatty dairy products like yellow cheese, creams, and spreads are rich in saturated fats. Too much of these fats is linked to higher inflammation, worsening arthritis conditions. People who eat a lot of dairy often report swelling, pain, and stiffness in joints, especially during flare-ups. This might mean intolerance or sensitivity. Another important factor is many dairy products today are highly processed. They contain additives, preservatives, dyes, and often antibiotic residues from cattle farming. These mess with gut function, negatively impacting gut flora. Since the gut is closely linked to inflammation control, any imbalance there shows up in joints. In some people, milk boosts mucus production and can cause toxin buildup, making nutrient flow and inflammatory waste removal worse. This creates a bad environment for cartilage repair. Common symptoms include stiffness on waking, migrating pain, and joints feeling hot to the touch. Spotting this sensitivity can be a game changer in chronic pain treatment. Swapping regular dairy for lighter options like plant-based yogurts, nut cheeses, or oat drinks can bring visible benefits in days. It's important to do this with care and watch how your body reacts. What works for some might not for others, but moderation is key for everyone. Figuring out if you really need dairy is a big step to cutting inflammation. And even if dairy causes discomfort, there's still a more dangerous food for your joints. It's something many people eat daily without knowing the damage it does. This final villain will be revealed in the last chapter, and it'll surprise you. Number 5. Processed meats. Hot dogs, ham, sausages, bacon, and other processed meats are part of many people's diets. But these foods are true villains for joint health. The main problem is the chemical additives like nitrites, nitrates, preservatives, and flavor enhancers. These cause inflammatory processes that attack joint tissues. Plus, they're highly acidifying, which throws your body's pH out of balance. Too much sodium is another concern. One slice of ham or sausage can have more salt than a whole meal should. This causes fluid retention and joint swelling, increasing stiffness and pain. Regularly eating these products also hurts blood pressure and heart health, which cuts oxygen and nutrients to joints. Another problem with processed meats is the formation of advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These form when proteins or fats combine with sugars at high heat. AGEs trigger widespread inflammation, including in joints, speeding cartilage, wear, and causing damage. Eating these foods often is a gateway to chronic pain and limited mobility. Processed meats are often seen as tasty and convenient, but they come at a high body cost. Over time, the inflammation they cause worsens autoimmune diseases like rheumatoid arthritis. Morning stiffness, joint sensitivity, and even constant fatigue can be direct results of this diet. Cutting back or quitting these foods is a powerful move if you want better quality of life. Healthy alternatives include fresh meats, fish, eggs, and plant proteins, which are less inflammatory and more nutritious. Cooking at home with natural seasonings gives you better control over what you eat. This simple change can reduce joint symptoms a lot. Your body responds better to clean, natural foods with less inflammation. And if processed meats cause so many problems, imagine a food even worse. At the end, you'll find out the biggest joint destroyer, and it might be on your plate every day without you realizing it. Number 4. Fried foods and fast food. Fried foods are irresistible to many, but their effects on joints are devastating. Foods like fries, chicken nuggets, burgers, and pastries are cooked in oils heated to high temps, often reused. This creates toxic, inflammatory compounds that attack joint tissues. Plus, these meals are rich in trans fats, which are directly linked to worsening chronic inflammation. Fast food is more than just fried stuff. The mix of refined carbs, saturated fat, salt, and chemical additives makes every meal a bomb for your body. Your body reacts by producing inflammatory cytokines, which ramp up pain, stiffness, and swelling in joints. For people already struggling with arthritis or osteoarthritis, this inflammation makes symptoms worse, making daily life more painful and limited. A big problem with fast food is how often it's eaten. Many people have it multiple times a week without realizing the buildup of damage they're causing. Even a small portion packs high doses of bad fats, salt, and toxins. The result shows in worse joint pain, fatigue, and trouble moving. Your body feels it and sends clear signals. Saturated fats and reused oils in these foods also harm the liver, making it harder to detoxify. A stressed liver can't clear inflammatory waste properly, worsening joint pain. Your immune system also starts overreacting, hurting joint health. It's a cycle of attack, starting with your diet. To fix this, swap fried foods for baked, grilled, or boiled meals. Choosing fresh, whole foods rich in antioxidants helps cut inflammation and protect joints. Avoiding fast food gives your body a chance to heal. Your joints thank you every time you pick something healthy. But even with all these harms, fried foods aren't number one on the worst foods for joints list. Keep watching, because the last chapter will reveal the true champion of joint destruction, the one that silently sabotages your health the most. Number 3. Soda. Sodas, whether regular or sugar-free, are some of the biggest enemies of modern health, and joints too. They contain a dangerous combo of sugar, phosphoric acid, dyes, and preservatives that mess up your body's balance. As for sugar-free sodas, artificial sweeteners aren't the answer either, as they're linked to more inflammation and gut flora imbalance. Both types overload your system and trigger bad reactions in joint tissues. Phosphoric acid in these drinks directly harms bones and cartilage. It cuts calcium absorption and promotes bone loss, making joints fragile and prone to injury. Over time, this can lead to osteoporosis and worse joint pain. Even small amounts, when consumed often, change your body's pH, creating a perfect environment for inflammation to set in. The sugar overload in regular sodas causes insulin spikes and boosts inflammatory cytokines. This is especially bad for arthritis sufferers, worsening stiffness, swelling, and joint pain. Artificial sweeteners like aspartame and sucralose can mess with your nervous system and cause autoimmune reactions. So no version of soda is harmless. Another big issue is dehydration from these drinks. Though liquid, they don't hydrate. Actually, they cause loss of essential minerals and make it harder to produce synovial fluid, which lubricates joints. Without this fluid, bones rub together, wearing down cartilage and causing persistent pain and loss of mobility over time. Drinking soda daily is also linked to weight gain, which puts extra pressure on knees, hips, and ankles, speeding joint wear. This creates a vicious cycle. More weight, more pain, less movement, more harmful foods. The first step out is cutting back on these drinks consciously. Number 2. Sugar and processed sweets. Sugar is one of the biggest causes of silent inflammation in the body, and that hits joints directly. Eating too many sweets, cakes, candies, filled cookies, or processed desserts causes your body to produce more inflammatory cytokines. These mess with synovial tissue, which protects and lubricates joints, making it thicker and inflamed. This leads to pain, stiffness, and even loss of mobility over time. Sugar also messes with gut microbiome balance, lowering good bacteria and encouraging harmful microbes. This impacts your immune system, ramping up inflammation that affects your whole body. When inflammation gets chronic, joints are among the first to feel it. Pain goes up, swelling happens more often, and quality of life drops. Processed sweets are full of additives, dyes, and preservatives that increase oxidative stress. This means more free radicals attacking healthy cells, speeding up joint aging. Over time, cartilage wears out faster, causing bone friction and constant pain. Daily consumption, even in small amounts, is worse than you think. Another big problem is sugar's effect on insulin levels and insulin resistance. When insulin is off, it causes fluid retention, weight gain, and systemic inflammation. This inflammatory environment hits joints hard, causing discomfort, morning stiffness, and trouble with simple tasks. All this, without you realizing the villain, is on your dessert plate. Cutting back on sugar and choosing healthier alternatives is smart to protect your joints. Fresh fruits, dates, pure honey in moderation, and dark chocolate with high cocoa content are friendlier swaps. Every food choice affects how your joints will feel in the years ahead. It's no exaggeration to say you might be sweetening your pain without knowing it. Still, sugar isn't the worst enemy for joints. There's an even worse food lurking in millions of meals that speeds up cartilage damage fast. And that's what we're about to talk about. Number 1. White flour and refined products. If there's one food that deserves the top spot as the most destructive to joints, it's white flour. Found in breads, cakes, pasta, cookies, pizzas, and even processed sauces, it's one of the biggest causes of joint inflammation. Eating it spikes your blood sugar fast, causing insulin peaks that lead to silent, lasting inflammation. Your body's clear response: pain, swelling, and progressive joint degeneration. White flour's problem goes beyond raising blood sugar. It undergoes processing that strips away fibers, vitamins, and minerals, leaving a highly processed product that's poor in nutrients and full of simple starches. This causes a cascade of inflammation that hits not only joints but promotes obesity, which worsens joint pain. Every serving of refined bread or pasta feeds this destructive cycle. Another effect of white flour is toxin buildup. When your body can't handle the waste from these foods, your liver and kidneys get overloaded. This blocks efficient removal of inflammatory substances, which pile up in connective tissues. Joints, made mostly of collagen, become easy targets for ongoing chronic inflammation. People with arthritis, osteoarthritis, or autoimmune diseases need to watch out for refined products. They can trigger stronger flare-ups with intense pain and long-lasting stiffness. It's common to feel joint discomfort right after eating something rich in white flour. This reaction is a clear sign something's wrong, and the food you ate is inflaming your body inside. Luckily, there are much healthier alternatives. Swapping white flour for whole grain flours like oats, flaxseed, chickpeas, or almonds can turn your health around. These versions have fibers and nutrients that help regulate blood sugar and reduce inflammation. They also keep you full longer and support gut health, helping your whole body, including your joints. White flour is the worst food for your joints because it combines all the destructive elements: inflammation, gut imbalance, blood sugar spikes, and weight gain. It's the number one villain of chronic joint pain. Cutting it out or drastically reducing it is definitely one of the most important steps you can take to ease pain, protect your joints, and live a more active, comfortable life. And to keep getting the best videos for your health and well-being, subscribe to the channel. It exists for a very simple reason: to help you become a stronger, happier person. And the video popping up on your screen now reveals the early symptoms that could cost you your life from prostate cancer. To watch that video, just click on the screen. See you in the next video.